What does it mean for Raheem Sterling then, Jules? Would they still be looking at bringing him in? Would this be a double signing for Chelsea? Because that's a lot of money to be spending on these two players.
Yeah, that's right. It will be around £100 million for the two of them, roughly. I do think that Chelsea and certainly Tuchel felt like he needed a 1v1 wide player, like with Rafinha or like a Dembele. And like what could be Sterling as well, although you can use Sterling in a kind of a different role, a different profile. So maybe you think that you could do both. I've always thought that it was either Dembele or Sterling, and now with Rafinha looking good for Chelsea, part of me still think it's either Rafinha or Sterling. I think they've got so many other positions they need to strengthen, and especially defensively. I don't even know if they can sign two centre-backs plus Rafinha plus Sterling and then maybe another forward to replace Lukaku. So it might be down to that as well. But yeah, I do wonder if they can really sign both Sterling and the wide player that they want, whether that's Dembele or Rafinha.
Well, if they'd go and do that, and well, listen, it would be bad management, bad ownership if that was the case. Just trying to appease some fans by saying, "Oh, look what we brought in," which is fine. But if they don't address the issues at the back, they're screwed. They're screwed. And by that I mean, they won't even get close to challenging in the Premier League. I'm not suggesting they're quite there yet, but if they bulk up that back line, they'll give themselves a better chance. So I'm presuming there's going to be a budget there if they're bringing these guys in, and it's not done yet, that they can still go and bring players in at the back. They've looked at Koundé before from Spain. There's been talk about Skriniar, there's been talk about Delet, there's talk about a few people. We never heard much about defenders until the last couple of days. Now it's starting to filter out a little bit. So I'm presuming if you're going for attacking players, you've got a budget to still do the defensive side of it, because if they don't, then that is a dereliction to that squad, to that manager, because you can't lose Rudiger and Christensen and have the problems that you've had, and trying to hunt down Liverpool and City and not go out and build a back line that can. You look at Liverpool, they've got Konate, Matip, Gomez, Van Dijk, then City have got Ake, who can come in for Laporte, Diaz and Stones. Chelsea don't have that. They need to make sure they've got a budget to go and address that position.
Do you agree with that, Mark?
Absolutely, yeah. And, I've heard suggestions that Chelsea might be spending up to £200 million this summer, which I'm a bit sceptical about, because that would be the biggest ever outlay by a Premier League club in any summer window. And I think it might be the idea for Todd Bowley's group to make a statement on their arrival. But let's be honest, that American-owned football clubs tend not to spend massive money without bringing some back in. Now, the Liverpool owners are very sensible with their transfer recruitment. Man United have been less sensible, but equally they don't go around throwing money around without actually bringing some in. So, are Chelsea really going to spend £200 million this summer? It's unlikely, I think, but they probably need to. If they're going to spend close to £50 million on Sterling and Rafinha, they do need a centre-half, probably two centre-halves. They've lost Christensen and Rudiger for nothing. So, there's other names that have been mentioned. Pau Torres at Villarreal is a name that's been doing the rounds. But yeah, Chelsea can't just bring in attacking players. It's not about scoring more goals and conceding more at the back. They have to address the issues at the back. But I have to say that Chelsea's current attacking options are all very much they're almost like, B-team players, fringe players that wouldn't really be guaranteed a starting spot. I think if they bring Sterling in, he would start. He might get frustrated with what's around him. He won't have the same options he has at City. I think Rafinha he's probably added to that similar list of, Ziyech and Pulisic and Havertz, inconsistent, unreliable. So it's interesting times at Chelsea, but I do think they need to start focusing on the defenders pretty quickly, because without those, having lost two of the best defenders, they're going to struggle.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.